Hello, my Teaserking family. I hope everybody's well. I am back and ready for week 18 of the NFL. Confusing week. Teams that have locked, teams that have not locked. Will teams play? So if they've clinched, i.e., Green Bay, you just assume they're not playing. Rodgers, I can't imagine him playing. Maybe he plays the first half. I don't, with his toe, I just don't see it. There's no incentive. They're just going to go through the motions. The backups will play because they get an opportunity. Hardly what you want to bet on. So keep an eye on who needs it and who doesn't. So let's quickly go through that. Dallas, Philly. Dallas doesn't need it. Philly is in the playoffs. Doesn't matter if they win. Probably not. Their running backs are not playing. So there's no need in this game for anybody to play. How long is Dallas going to keep their starters? If at all out there to risk injury. I don't know. Maybe they gain by being the 2 seed instead of the 3 seed. I don't know, but not much. KC, Denver. KC needs the game. If Tennessee loses and they win, they're the 1 seed. So KC will be motivated. Denver is out of the playoffs. No reason to play. Bridgewater's out. You got locked. Good luck. Green Bay, Detroit, I've just talked about. Green Bay -4.5. Detroit's got the whole team injured. Over under 44.5. Chicago, Mini, neither team has anything to play for. New England, Miami. New England must win to win the division, not a 1 seed. That's between KC and Tennessee. So New England, so New England has to win. Miami's out. Indy, Jacksonville. Indy has to win. They're not even in the playoffs yet. It's a must win for them. Playing Jacksonville, who's been eliminated since week 1. The Jets and Buffalo. Again, Buffalo on the other half of the New England must win. The Jets are out. Carolina, Tampa. Carolina's eliminated. Tampa Bay is already clinched. They clinched the division. They can't catch Green Bay. A lot of injuries. I don't see much going on there. Tennessee, Houston. Tennessee playing for the 1 seed against Houston. So they will be playing. Washington and the Giants, neither team, both eliminated. New Orleans, Atlanta. New Orleans needs the game. As far as I know, Kamara will be playing. Excuse me. I'm still on European time. Atlanta is eliminated. New Orleans needs to win, and the Niners lose to the Rams, and they're in. Pitt, Baltimore. Pitt. Both teams technically, mathematically have a shot. Pittsburgh's got the better chance because they got the tie, which actually helps them. They've only got 7 losses. Baltimore's got 8, and they could get in if everybody loses 8. Who's got all the 9 and 7s lose, but that you got Indy, you got San Diego and Oakland playing each other, so I don't see how that's going to happen. Well, I think there's 3, so San Diego, Oakland, and then if Indy loses. Cincinnati, Cleveland. Cincinnati's clinched the division. Cleveland's gone, so again, nothing there. Both quarterbacks are out. Seattle, Arizona. Arizona playing for the division. Will play Seattle. Coach B playing with Coach B. Probably Russell Wilson will play the whole game if I know him. Frisco and the Rams. This is a playoff game. Both teams need it. The Rams are trying to win the division. The Niners with a little more back against the wall because they must win to get into the playoffs or hope that New Orleans loses. So backs against the wall. San Diego, Oakland. Basically the winner's in. Both, so that's a playoff game. Again, I like teasing the dog there. All right, let's go through the line. Dallas -5, 43.5. KC -10.5, 45. Green Bay -4, 44.5. Minnesota -5.5, 44.5. New England -6.5 and 40. Indy minus 15, 44.5. Buffalo minus 16.5, 41.5. Tampa 8, 42. Tennessee 10, 43. Washington 7, 38. New Orleans 3.5, 40.5. Baltimore 4.5, 41.5. Cleveland, for some reason, is a 6-point favorite, and 38. Arizona 6.5, 48. The Rams 4.5, 44.5. And San Diego 3 and 49.5. So those are your lines. Some are really strange, some aren't. So let's look at the trends. Now, these are all teams playing each other. Dallas, Philly, the home team, the last 6. But you got to throw it out the window because not the Philly at home probably, but they don't need the game. You basically are looking at Dallas just pulling everybody, not just playing to not get injured. So you can't look at the stat. KC, Denver. KC is won the last 10. Bridgewater's out. I definitely like KC here. Oh, let me touch base. KC, strong dog, A team. Denver's an under, strong dog. And the trend is Kansas City, and they've won the last 10. This is KC all over with 2 strong dogs playing each other. You would think it would be an under game, especially with Drew Lock. KC will get the lead and then probably just sit on it. Green Bay, Detroit, hard to play. Green Bay's the A team, but then that's with Rodgers. Over under 44.5. Goff, I don't know if he's playing. He's questionable. Green Bay with a strong defense. Detroit, a weak defense. Again, it's very difficult because they're just not going to play there. They've clinched. So it's you can't look at the trend. So this is what you got to look at. When I was in Europe, my thought process, I was thinking about the games and what else could I do? Everything was closed in Amsterdam. And in the Ukraine, no. And so my thought was you almost need 2 sets of what do you call it, rankings. For example, Green Bay's an A team with Rodgers playing in the defense. If Rodgers doesn't play and Jordan Love plays, they're not an A team anymore. They're a Z team or a W team or an under team. So you almost have to make 2 sets, especially with all the COVID and all the players getting injured, especially the quarterbacks. You almost have to make if this, let's look at the Bears. They're probably the best example. So the Bears I've got as an E team. But Andy Dalton's quarterbacking. They're probably more of almost a B team with Andy Dalton, but with Fields, they're a W. So depending on the quarterback is the ranking you have to go with. So this is where we're really getting into the 3rd level. This is really master's level. So depending who the quarterback is drops you down even more into who do you, how do you rate the team? So Green Bay's an A team if they're playing, but they've clinched. So they're not playing as an A team this week. They're probably playing as a W. They don't really care. They don't want to get anybody injured. Detroit's still a Z team. They're not resting anybody, but a lot of players are COVIDed or injured, and they're just a weak team anyway. So that's what I've been thinking is which team. Each team has a couple of sets of ratings, and that's what I'm looking at. So let's look at Chicago Mini. Both teams are E's, kind of. Chicago, I think, with Dalton is a much stronger team than with Fields, obviously, and that's what I've been bitching about. Mini's an E team. I think Cousins is playing. The trend on the game now, the visitors 5-1. The dog has won the last 4. Mini's got a weak defense. So you think of Mini as a strong defensive team. They're not. At least now their numbers are weak. Chicago, I just put 24 down. They're not really strong. They're not really weak. They're just a decent defense. Again, Khalil Mack's out. Half their linebackers are out. I go through the injury list. I see the Baltimore, there's like 8 linebackers out. I don't know how they field the team. There's 30 guys out. It's just incredible. But on the other hand, it shows you there's a lot of college players that didn't make it that are good enough that are playing. Not all are good enough, but you can replace some good, a safety, a corner, a linebacker with a good college player. Trend on the game is Chicago as a dog and Minnesota as a weak favorite. New England, Miami. New England must win. Miami is out. New England's an A team. Miami's an under team. New England, strong dog, obviously. Miami with the 22 defense. There's very few strong defenses in the NFL, like a Georgia or an Alabama or a Clemson that you get in college where they give up, 14, 12 points a game. You just don't have it in the pros. I think the best one is New England and Buffalo, and coincidentally, they're in the playoffs. So New England's clinched, but they need to win against Miami, who doesn't care. The dog has covered the last 4. Miami, 3 out of the last 4. So if everybody's playing, this would have been a Miami trend. Is Miami playing? Probably. So you never know. These teams that are out, are they going to play or are they not going to play? What's going on there? So we've got hard to say. We know we got Miami at home, but New England, they bring the strong defense, and that usually is a good thing. I like New England here just to win the game. I don't think Miami's all that good. Indy is an A team playing Jacksonville's a Z team regardless, a lot of injuries. Over under 44. Indy with a pretty strong defense and Jacksonville with a really weak defense. This trend's all Indy. The home team's won the last 8. It's amazing. The home team just wins and wins and wins in this series. I think Jacksonville would cover because it's such a high number, 15. But Indy's back against the wall, must win the game. Buffalo, A team against the Jets or Z team, no matter what, Buffalo will play. They must win the game to beat New England for the division. And that's a big thing. If you're a wild card, you're not hosting any games. If you win the division, you're probably hosting 1, if not 2. If there's an upset, you're going to be hosting the next week if you won the division. That's why it's critical they win it. Over under 41. Jets, weak dog. Still played Tampa pretty good. Buffalo, strong dog. The trend's Buffalo. The dog is 8-1 in this series. I think it's a big number here. Buffalo laying 16.5. I think it's a really big number. Over under 41. Again, unless there's big snowfall, I like the game over, but I just think the Jets score. They scored on Tampa and Cincinnati and all their upsets. They scored. Then they play a game where they don't score. Carolina, Tampa. Carolina and under. Tampa's an A. A lot of injuries. Nothing to play for. Brady will probably play a half or a quarter. Over under 42. Tampa with a strong defense. Carolina had a strong defense. Now went 23. Brady 3-0 against Carolina. And again, this is where I argue you've got to play Brady's stats. I can't go back 6 games about Tampa and Carolina. It doesn't work because Brady wasn't there. He's only been there for 3, the 2 last year and this year. So Brady is 3-0. That's all you can look at in the trends. Now, they don't need the game or they would kill him. So you've got to play that. Tennessee. Now, this is a hard team to – are they an A team? Are they a B team? Or are they an E team? Right now, their stats say E team, but I think they're a B team. I think they're a strong defensive team. Houston's got a weak defense. Houston's a Z team. Mills looks like he's playing better. I didn't see a trend in the head-to-head, one of the few without a trend. And Tennessee must win for the 1 seed, so they're going to be playing against Houston. Washington, W against the Giants. W, again, depending on the quarterbacks. The Giants, both their quarterbacks are out, so they're going to be playing my man Jake Fromm. He'll light it up against Washington, hopefully. And then Washington has Heineke back. Both teams have weak defenses. The Giants have covered the last 6. And over under 38. That's just insane. So either you think Jake Fromm sucks, and if you do, then you figure, well, Washington will win, or you play the game under because Jake Fromm sucks, and therefore they're not going to score, but the Giants have a good defense. So that's what you get. You can see the over-under has been knocked down to 38. New Orleans, 3.5. They're an under team. They're a little bit better with Hill than with Simeon than with these other guys. Again, they need a quarterback. Really strong defense. Atlanta is a W team with a really weak defense. So New Orleans should have a good opportunity to score on them. Atlanta, Matt Ryan, he'll get a few points. 3.5, 40.5. Such low totals this week. 40.5. I don't know. I think you're going to get over there. The dog has covered the last 7 in a teaser. The trend is New Orleans. The head-to-head trend is Atlanta. New Orleans must win for the playoffs. They have any hope. And then Frisco loses and New Orleans is in. So New Orleans is going to play. The key is Kamara. He's not even on the injured list. Kamara plays, New Orleans wins. Baltimore and Pitt. Pitt's covered the last 3, the dog the last 8. This has always been a dog series. You got Baltimore 4.5-point favorites. Lamar Jackson's out. He's questionable with the ankle, but he's not playing. Baltimore is almost 0% chance they're going to make the playoffs, even with the win. Pitt has a way to get in if Indy loses, which is not going to happen, but they at least have that hope. I know Tomlin, Roethlisberger's last game, they're going to be playing over under 41.5. This is probably an under, but both defenses are 24s. So they're not really strong 18, 19 points a game defense. They're average. Again, with all the injuries and everything, it's very tough. This game will probably be a close game, would be my guess. Huntley, he's not going to blow out Pitt, I don't think. Roethlisberger should have a good game. Cincinnati, Cleveland, it doesn't matter. Both quarterbacks are out. Burrow is out, resting. Chase probably won't play. Mayfield's on IR. They're out. Cincinnati's clinched. Cleveland's out. So you've got nothing to play for. You're going to have the second string. Over went from 43 to 38. So it's already been teased down. Of course, you like the under. Of course, both quarterbacks are out. Cincy's going to be more worried about resting. Cleveland, 6-point favorite for some reason. I have no idea. The trend on the game, Cincinnati, but without Burrow, you can't even look at the trends. So it's probably an under game. Seattle and Arizona. Arizona's a B team. Seattle, I don't know what they are anymore. They went from an under team, but that's without Russell Wilson. Then he came back. He gets shut out. Now he's starting to score. They put up 50 on Detroit. Knowing Seattle, knowing Coach Pete and Russell Wilson, they're playing to win this game. They don't care that they're out of the playoffs. Huge trend on Seattle. The dog, the last 4. They play well in Arizona. Over under 48. Both teams with strong defenses makes me lean towards the under here. Just like Arizona, Dallas. See, superficially, if you look at the games, Arizona and Dallas, you know, this game's going to be way over. But both teams have strong defenses, and that's where the game went under, is because the strong defenses. So the defense will dictate the over-unders. Frisco and the Rams. The Rams laying 4.5, 44.5. Frisco, strong dog. The Rams are at 22, and that's all because of Stafford throwing the ball too much, not allowing the defense to get enough rest. Too many of this bullshit. Let's go for it on fourth down. Why are they going for it? 4th and 7 at the 9-yard line. You kick your field goal. What are you, insane? I don't understand these coaches at all. It's just ridiculous. Frisco's won the last 5. Must win for Frisco versus a nice to win for the Rams. What's the difference? The Rams are in the playoffs. It's just, are they the division champs or not? Frisco must win to make the playoffs. This is what happened last week with Oakland and then Indy. Okay, Indy kind of thought they were in. Oakland had to win. Oakland gets the win. Frisco must win. This is a better Frisco play than Ram play. They've won the last 5, Frisco, so they play them well. And then over under 44.5. I don't know. Frisco's got a strong defense, so maybe an under 50 there, but hard to get a feel on these over-unders this week. In the last game, San Diego, Oakland. San Diego's an over team. Oakland's an even team. San Diego lane 3. I had Oakland -3 at home. Over under 49.5. I think we'll still go over because both teams have weak defenses. So in the first game, San Diego blew them out. What's going to change? Oakland played Indy very good. The Dogs 4-1, with the one loser being the last game when San Diego beat Oakland. The trend's Oakland as a home dog. San Diego's a weak, they're a good road favorite, but you want them as a dog. Let's go through the trends. If we go through the team trends, Minnesota, Green Bay is a big home, is really strong this year in a teaser. Philly, Cincy, New England, Indy, Miami, and Buffalo. Most of the playoff teams get you the money. Minnesota, not. Miami, not. But Green Bay, Buffalo, Philly, Cincinnati, New England, and Indy, all playoff teams. The play against teams, the bad teams, Miami, Jacksonville's terrible, Cleveland, Baltimore, Washington, Atlanta, Minnesota, San Diego, the Jets, Houston, and Detroit. So you can see Jacksonville, the Jets, Houston, Detroit, all the Z teams are bet against because they lose and they're not very good. It's all talent-based. If you have good talent, that's why teams are very strong. And then, why did the Steelers of the 70s go down? Well, Bradshaw got hurt, Harris got old, Swan retired, Joe Green got out. Mike Wagner got out. So as soon as all of them left after the 80s Super Bowl, you can't replace them. That's what I try to teach. It's not the next man up. You can't replace Joe Green. You can't replace Mike Wagner, Mel Blount. So it took them a long time to replace Bradshaw. So that's what you have there. So let's see. No comments today? You guys are quiet. So let's look at it. Dallas, Philly, I'm passing. No interest. Maybe an under. Dallas pull their starters. Cooper Rush, not bad. See, that's when Cooper Rush gets experience and how good is he? So the really good backup will make the game go over. KC, Denver, take KC -4.5, a must win. And if they win, if Tennessee loses, they're the 1 seed. KC will play. Green Bay, Detroit. Green Bay is not going to play. Probably won't play Rodgers. Maybe you'll go under. Hard to say. Chicago Mini. I kind of like Chicago in 11.5. I think with Dalton. I think they play. Mini's got nothing to play for. I don't see Mini going and blowing him out. The visitors 5-1. The dog the last 4. The trends, the Bears. If you got Andy Dalton quarterbacking and no Fields, you're gold. I think the Bears in 11.5 are a good play here. New England, Miami, superficially, I think New England, even must win. Miami, they do play them well in Miami, but normally this is a very hidden thing. It's normally the last game of the year. It's normally with Brady, New England had it locked up, so they weren't really going to go out and blow them out. This is different. New England must win. I like New England even here. As far as over under, probably an under. New England's got that strong defense. Miami's a 22, so New England will probably get in the 20s. Probably an under. Probably I would say New England. You got to bet. Indy, Jacksonville. I think this is a principal bet. Even though the home team's the last 8, you're laying 15 and a half with Indy. So you can chop it under 10. Over under a 44 and a half. See what I like about Indy. Okay, they lost. Must win. They're playing a weak defense Jacksonville team. Urban Meyer's gone. Not that he did anything. I like Indy here a lot. They have to win to make the playoff. Buffalo and the Jets. I don't know. It just didn't look too bad against Tampa. I don't understand when they look good and when they don't. They beat Tennessee, they beat Cincinnati, and they almost beat Tampa, and then they lose the rest of their games. The dog is 8-1 in this series. Buffalo is the trend. Weak dog, weak defense, Jets against strong defense, Buffalo. Buffalo must win to beat New England out. But it's a big number, 16 and a half. I noticed the under going down. I wonder if it's for snow. We'll take a look at that. But I like Buffalo. I don't game. I almost love the Jets at 22 and a half. It's a big number. Buffalo has to win and against the Jets. So I think Buffalo does win. But I think it's going to be, it's not going to be 52-0. I don't think. Carolina, Tampa, nobody cares. Nobody needs it. Tampa will be resting their players, getting them healthy. Carolina stinks anyway, even with their starters. McCafferty's out. Sam Darnold maybe gets a big thing. I don't really understand this line -8 because Tampa's basically going to rest. I think it's an under game, though, because Carolina's an under team. They got a good defense. Tampa, how long is Brady going to be out there? Now, I do love Trask, the backup, more than I love Jake Fromm, for you Jake Fromm haters out there. So probably an under 42, under 48. Tampa should be good. I don't, Brady, I can't see him playing the whole game. Brady's the reason they'll go over, but if he's not playing, they'll just try not to get injured. Tennessee, 10 over Houston. Tennessee, the E team, over under 43. Tennessee, I think they're just going to pound them away. Houston with the weak defense. Tennessee in a must win for the number 1 seed, and you're laying 10. You chop it to 4. I like that bet a lot. Washington, 7 over Giants. This is a giant trend. They've won, or they've covered the last 6. Both teams have weak defenses, and it's a 38. It's a strange. You would think it'd be higher because both teams give up a lot of points. As far as I know, Heineke will be playing, and he'll play. And the Giants got my man Jake Fromm quarterbacking. Their first 2 quarterbacks are out. So either you think he sucks, and Washington -1 would be gold, or you think he's decent, and then you take the Giants in 13, or you go under because he's not that good. So we'll see. It's probably a game to stay far away from. New Orleans, 3.5 over Atlanta. Must win for New Orleans to have any hope. They win, the Niners lose, they're in. Over under 40.5. I think that game goes over with Kamara. They score a lot of points, Kamara. New Orleans, they just give him the ball and swing passes, and he's so hard to stop. Strong defense, New Orleans. Weak defense, Atlanta. I don't know. They play Tampa to a 9-0 game, so New Orleans is going to win this game all day. Pitt and Baltimore. Baltimore laying 4.5. I don't know why. Pitt, as far as I know, they're bad, but they get the wins. They play Roethlisberger's last game. Over under 41.5. They're both really under teams. I like Huntley and Roethlisberger. I think the game's under, and I think you take Pitt and 10.5 because they theoretically they still have a chance, even though Indy has to lose or the San Diego Oakland game ends in a tie or some crap like that. But um, Pitt really, they need to win to have a chance. So they're getting, you get 10.5. I think that's a big number. Pitt, it's good the last three. The Dog's good the last eight. Pitt's going to play. There's no way that, whatchamacallit, the coach is, is not going to have Pitt playing. They don't lay down Pittsburgh. Too much pride. Cleveland, Cincy, there's only one way to play this game's under. It's already gone from 43 to 38. And I think that still should be about 32. You've got no quarterback. I mean, he's out, right? Burrow's out. Mayfield's out. Forget about it. I don't know where they're going to run Chubb. Is Chubb even going to play? Cincinnati, they don't want to get anybody hurt. Higgins will be out. Chase won't be playing, I'm sure. The running back Mixon won't be playing. So you're basically looking at at high school football here. I think it stays under just because I don't know where you're going to get the points from. Arizona 6.5 against my Seattle with Russell Wilson. I don't know. I'm not comfortable taking Arizona to win, thinking, well, they need to win, they're going to win. Here's where you got to be careful. Just because they need the game, they're playing. Seattle plays them very tough. Seattle's a very strong road dog. The Dogs won the last four, covered the last four. Both teams have strong dogs, but makes it over under 48. I like it under. It's hard not to take Russell Wilson 12.5. They're going to play. They don't need the game. Obviously, they're out of the playoffs. They're going to play Seattle. Coach Pete, he ain't there to, oh, well, we won't try like maybe Cincinnati or Green Bay or Tampa. They're going to play because that's how Coach Pete is. Arizona, terrible home team. I just think that I Seattle 12.5, even though I shouldn't like them because Arizona needs the game. But I don't know. The Rams and the Niners, again, the Niners have their backs against the wall, not the Rams. The Rams are in. Do they win the division or not? Sure, they'd like to win the division, but the Niners must win it. The question is Garoppolo's thumb. I don't know if I'll have to look at the box score if he played last week. If he played last week, he'll play this week. I'm sure he'll play. It's a playoff game. They must win, especially if New Orleans wins. So I like the Niners in 10.5 here. Probably over too. They'll score the Niners. And the last game, San Diego and Oakland. I got Oakland laying 3. They got San Diego laying 3. Oakland a home dog. What gets me is Oakland beat Indy. Where did that come from? Both teams have weak defenses and over under a 49.5. I think the best way to play this game's over. You got 2 weak defenses. San Diego beat them pretty bad that first game, so I'm not really in love with Oakland at all as a dog or favorite. The dog is 4-1 the last 5 here. Nick, hoping my Raiders can pull it off Sunday night, not getting my hopes up. Laugh out loud. Yeah, Nick. I just said I don't. It's a playoff game, so how good are they? They look good against Indy. I think they're a good dog bet, a live dog bet. Really like Niners as a dog. Glad to see you like them too. We'll probably play with New England. Yeah. Well, you got to play New England. Like I say, Buffalo, I don't know. Tennessee and Indy, I think. Kansas City, absolutely. Pittsburgh, New Orleans, the Niners, maybe Oakland over, the Cleveland, Cincy under. Tennessee. So there's a few games there. As I said, Georgia, Alabama, my locks, Georgia under. I know I've got Alabama's going to win. Georgia will be in revenge mode and are going to play like they played against Michigan. The question is, can Georgia, Alabama's going to take their little quick shots and their deep shots, and can Georgia, is that just a bad matchup for Georgia? I can't believe all the other teams they played didn't try it and none of them were successful. Arkansas, Kentucky, Florida, nobody could move the ball on Auburn, could move the ball on Georgia, and I don't know. I don't see how Alabama only got 26 on Cincinnati. He's going to light up Georgia again. I think Georgia will make their adjustments. I think they're coming to play. They did not have their back against the wall in the first game. Alabama had to win to make the playoffs. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I like the Niners. They have to win to make the playoffs. And that's the team you want to take. Kansas City and Tennessee have to win for the 1 seed. Indy must win to make the playoffs. New Orleans must win to hope to make the playoffs. New England doesn't need to win to make the playoffs. They need to win the divisions. Different. Same thing with Buffalo. They need to win the division, but not to get into the playoffs. Teams that need to get into the playoffs are the really good bets here, if provided everybody's healthy. So let's see. So those are the plays. Also, again, Nick, it could be a possibility that Bama didn't show their full hand against Cincy. I don't believe that. What are you waiting for? They showed their full hand. Cincy's got a hell of a defense. No one is smart about it. Well, he's already showed his full hand against Georgia the first time. Okay, that he had to show the hand. I mean, what does he have? What else does he have? I don't know. You got the quarterback. They ran the ball pretty good on Cincinnati. They're not going to run the ball on Georgia. Michigan couldn't run the ball on Georgia. He beat him with the pass the first game. Again, Georgia just wasn't really motivated. When you already are in, right? Like, look at Green Bay and Tampa Bay and Cincinnati, they're not motivated. There's nothing to play for. That's how Georgia was against Alabama the first game. There was nothing to play for. They were the 1 seed. They were already in the playoff. There's no way they could not be in the playoff. They had nothing. There wasn't that. There's a saying in the art of war, when the army has their back against the wall and they're going to die, it's either fight or die, right? The enemy's coming in, Lord of the Rings at Helm's Deep. Either fight or die, you fight, right? The human spirit takes over and you fight. And that's what Alabama did to Georgia. They had to win to make the playoffs, so they got the W. That's what you got with the Niners and the Rams and New Orleans and Atlanta. They have to win. Their back's against the wall. It's win or die, right? And that's what happens. So Alabama plays Georgia in a win or die, and they win. That's what happens. Now now Georgia's got their back against the wall. Alabama kind of does. So you have two teams that really now are going to have to, this is a playoff game, have to win. And what do I start? Normally I would tease the dog here and take Alabama to 9. I love the under because I love this Georgia defense that gives up 7 points a game is unbelievable. I mean, you probably go back 30, 40 years, you don't see a defense like this. So I really like the under. Alabama's got a good defense. Alabama's going to try to run, won't be able to, but it's not going to be a wide open game like the first one. I think you see a much stronger defensive game, closer game. That's my opinion. Almost forgot I have a $200 future for Georgia to win it all at even money. Would it be smart to hedge with under 58, Bama and 8? No, don't be sorry, Nick. We're here. This is why I'm live, so I can answer comments. $100 future for Georgia. What does that mean? Does that mean you bet like $10 to win 200? So you're going to win. That's your win is 200. So then I would just bet. So you have Georgia even for 200, basically. So to hedge it, Alabama and 9. So let's look at it. So Alabama 9 or plus 3.5 or 3, whatever. So if Georgia wins 7-0, you win the future for 200. You lose the Alabama. If Alabama wins, you lose the Georgia. You win the Alabama. Again, you break even. If Georgia wins by 1 or 2, you win your 200 future, and then you win your Alabama plus 3, you win 400. So that's the best way to go, is just a straight Alabama plus 3, not necessarily for 200 because Georgia's favored, but close to it, maybe 100, 150. And then you can't, you could win both bets if Georgia wins by 1 or 2, and you can't lose because if Georgia wins, you win and you lose Alabama. But you got Georgia even here, but the spread's 3, so you're picking up. So you're lucky that if Alabama was favored, you couldn't do anything. But with Georgia favored, you could take Alabama. So maybe make 100, 150 on Georgia, on Alabama plus the 3 is a trap. I wouldn't tease it like that because what if the game goes over and then you lose the over, but you win the Bama, and then you lose that teaser and the bet, so you could lose them both. So no, you played Bama plus whatever the line 2 or 3. You can't lose. You don't bet the full 200, and I would imagine $200 Georgia. You didn't bet 200. You probably bet $10 to win 200 or something. So let me know what you bet, and I'll give you the best way to win it. But probably like 75, 100. Like if you bet 10 to win 200 here, then go like 75 to 100 on Alabama, and then you either win 200. Let's say you bet 100, so you win 200, you lose 100, you win 100. If Alabama wins and you lose the Georgia bet, you win 100, you lose 10 or 20, you win 80. So that would be your best scenario. It's just play Alabama in the 2 or 3, and we're gonna lock the under with a couple of pro games here. Also, since it's Monday night, we could theoretically lock. I bet it 3/4 through the season when they were plus 100. So what was your bet? $20? That's crazy. We'll play Bama to trap. Okay, so I assume it was you bet, what'd you bet, $2 to win 200? How much did you bet? If you bet 2, they were plus 100 if I'm reading this right. So you bet 2 to win 200. Then yeah, you can bet $50, $75 and you either win 200 and lose 75. You bet 200, it was even. Oh, well, plus 100. Okay. So that takes that odds out. That's a pretty bad odds, even money on that. I like the value of that far into the season. Yeah, probably earlier on. Once they were really shutting everybody else, when I probably would have made that type of bet, like after they killed Florida and they killed Kentucky and they shut out Arkansas, I probably would have done it right around there. But yeah, so it's 200 to win 200. So now you're back to maybe betting 100 or 150 on Alabama and hope that Georgia wins by 1 or 2. See, now your ties come into play. Let's say you get a 3 on it. Let's look at the line right now. And let's go to college. So I got Georgia laying 352.5. So You could have Georgia in 3, and then hope that Georgia. You're gonna have Alabama +3. So your best scenario is Georgia wins by 1, 2, or 3. You win both half. Well, the 3's a tie, so you don't lose. So if they win by 1 or 2, and you win both bets. You can't lose because that. But I wouldn't bet 220 to win 2. Then you can lose 20. I'd bet like 150 or 1 and a quarter. You know, try to get 11 to 10 on it. College might even be even money, but try to get 11 to 10. I wouldn't pay 13 to 10. And then just maybe 1 and a quarter to win 115, 110. And then, you've got the favorite even, basically. So you win 2, you lose 1 and a quarter, you make $75. Or you lose 75 if Alabama wins big, or Georgia by 1 or 2, you win 375. So that's your best bet is Alabama straight up plus the 3, and hope they lose by 2 or 3. But I think Georgia wins. I think it'll be low scoring, and I think that's the best one. But we're going to have that locked with either a pro team this week, probably. I really, my strongest play is probably Kansas City and Tennessee. And then Indy, I like Indy a lot because they're playing Jacksonville. But they don't play Jacksonville. The home teams won the last 8, so it makes it a really difficult thing. But Jacksonville's so bad this year that Indy off the loss will be pissed off. So I think Indy, those are probably the top 3. And then you got New Orleans and Frisco must-win games. Thanks for the advice, TK. Always you're welcome. Hoping to celebrate. Yeah, well, I'll enjoy the steak. Really good steak in the Ukraine. I went to where the hotel I was at in Lviv. Lviv's a great city, great exchange rate. I was expecting a Russian style steak, and I ordered steak at dinner, American, New York strip. The thing was this thick and this big, and it was great. And it was only like $15 because they can't charge a lot because nobody has money over there. So therefore, it was just a beautiful, well done, great steak. And the only thing they need help on their salads. They're just not American salads, but I got chicken noodle soup with it and a steak, and it was just fabulous steak. So I hope your steak's that good. But I highly recommend the Ukraine. The exchange rate's great. I don't know all the other issues with it, but for a nice vacation, it's a great place to go. So that's the pros. Any questions, comments besides Nick? Nick, you can certainly ask more questions. Try to, again, like the Cincinnati, Cleveland, you got no quarterback. So try betting the quarterbacks on the over-under. Assume Brady doesn't play much, so that makes Tampa. Where are they? Tampa. Okay, so Tampa, Carolina's a 42. Figure Brady doesn't play. Trask probably will light it up. He's good. Green Bay, Detroit, again, Rodgers, I can't see him playing a lot. See, this is where it gets difficult. Green Bay, you just got to ignore. They're not going to play. There's nothing to – when the team has nothing to play for, there's no emotion. You bet against them or you bet under, they're going to just, what are you going to do? Jordan Love comes in, he stinks. Dallas, Philly, both teams will probably lay down. Neither team, both teams have clinched. There's really, I don't know, does Dallas play to get a better, to move up from a 4 seed to a 3 seed or whatever? I just, maybe, but you can't count on it. The only ones you can count on is Indy must win, New Orleans must win, Pitt must win, Frisco must win. Oakland, San Diego, they both must win. So then you get a regular playoff game. That's what you're looking for. So it's kind of a hard week because you don't get all the players all the teams involved. Now, depending on the playoffs and the spreads, we can probably find a few good plays to play with Georgia, because Georgia's on Monday, so we can still do that. Again, we'll do the playoffs, $75 for the NFL playoffs. I'd given $200 for the rest of the season and the bowls. The bowls, this is the last game for them with Georgia, Alabama. Excuse me. So if you want all the playoffs, basically 4 weeks with this extra wild card, $75 is fine. And that's about it. Any other comments, questions, or anything? Let's see. What else? Lessons learned. Careful with the stock market. Nick, I at the end of my other video, I got into gold a little bit also. Stock market's crashing pretty bad all over the world with this Evergrande and the inflation and everything else. The feds will not raise interest rates. People will say they will, and they're saying they will, but they can't because of the debt. So, it's just going to be really bad economy. So buy your gold, buy your baseball cards, buy assets, get out of current U.S. currency, or really all currencies if you can. Keep enough to pay your bills. The shit's really starting to hit the fan, and it's going to be big trouble. I've been buying the gold stocks, silver, things like that. That's what I know. Those are my real assets. What else? That's about it. Keep your eye on the injuries. Careful with this COVID list. Again, it's such bullshit because all the players on the COVID play the next week, so it's not like they're sick or anything. That's about it. So we'll quickly run through it again. In a KC, playing for the 1 seed. New England to win their division. Indy must win to make the playoffs. Buffalo, again, with New England. They're in, but they need it. Tennessee, playing for the 1 seed with Kansas City. New Orleans must win. Pitt must win to have any chance. Arizona and the Rams playing for their division. Frisco must win to make the playoffs. San Diego, Oakland, it's a playoff game. Tease the dog. Probably go over with it. They'll let all hell loose. All right, everybody. Anything else? I'll hold on for a few minutes. If there's any other questions or comments, let me know. But that is the NFL this week. All these this extra wild cards not needed at all. You don't need 3 wild cards. Two is plenty. But now you're getting into these lower team. New Orleans is not a playoff team. Sorry. The Niners, maybe, and then the AFC, San Diego and Oakland are not playoff teams. Well, San Diego is kind of hard to figure out. I always find their bad coaching. And then Pitt and Baltimore are they're beaten up so badly. But I don't see Baltimore favored in any game. They can't. They're so beaten up. Such a big injury list. All right, everybody. I guess that's a wrap. No more questions. All right. Well, have a great day. Good luck. What do we got? I think Dallas, Philly, I think Saturday. I don't know if KC, Denver. Let me take a quick date look. So on 1/8, yeah, okay. So Dallas and Kansas City are both Saturday. So again, we don't like Dallas. We do like Kansas City, and that's going to open up if KC wins, forces Tennessee to win. So I kind of like KC's earlier. So they will play, and then Tennessee will know they have to play. If any reason KC loses, then Tennessee clinches. So that's the only thing you got to be cognizant about. If Tennessee's already clinched, they won't play. Watch the COVID and everything else is Sunday. No Monday night game. So I'll keep that open. If you're looking for anybody to play with, go under in the Georgia game. And again, $75 for all the playoffs for 4 weeks and through the Super Bowl. Any locks, any game. And I think that's about it. So everybody have a great day. Enjoy. Again, any comment? Okay, that's it. All right, everybody. Well, have a great day. Good luck. www.teaserking.com. You've got most of the picks, and good luck to you. I hope you make a fortune. All right, everybody. Have a professor signing off. Take care.